What is up, guys? Half Slab Bacon back with a snapshot, guys. Yeah, that's right. This isn't a snapshot update. This is me jumping in and talking about some new things in our most recent snapshot that are a little concerning. We are in 19W11B, so this last week's round of snapshots, guys. And what I want to talk about specifically is the changes to villager trades, village mechanics, and golem spawning. And what I mean is going to be a little shocking. There basically aren't village mechanics anymore. Villagers kind of changed in a way that villages as we know it don't exist anymore. So before we get into the village mechanics and how this really going to affect things, let's talk about village breeding, villager breeding, and villager breeding halls. So you can see here that I can get villager breeding going like an infinite breeder. We'll cover that in a sec, but let's go and look at villager breeding halls. Now, with the new system, these workstations determine trades. So you can see over there, some of them don't have a profession. We got one farmer. The rest are basically like the old nitwits, guys. They don't have a profession yet. This guy here, who I'm still not sure how he got here. Go away! Bye now. But you can see he didn't pick up a profession. That's because each of these stations have a villager already keyed into it, already allocated. So this is going to make your trading hall a little cooler because instead of having to shift through random villagers, you can just have the unlabeled guys, the unallocated, unprofessioned, unemployed guys, and then drop them by an unallocated workstation and get the profession you want for your trading. So that's cool. The actual trades are very different. There's a lot of goods, like you can trade bottles from your witch farm now for emeralds, and a lot of bads, like lapis is more expensive. On the whole, I think the trading's pretty cool, and it's something that we'll adapt to and we'll have a lot more depth and a lot more fun with. There are two problems with trading halls moving forward. One is that they are slower, and two is, as a result, they are likely to be lag machines. So let's look at the trading and I'll explain why. You can see when we click on this guy, he's now at novice and he has very few trades. The main thing we got to focus here on is this progress bar. So unlike before where you opened up new trades by trading, now you got to level this bar up and he'll go from novice to master. It takes a long time to level them up, a lot of trades to level them up, and you can't trade like you used to be able to. You can no longer trade until you get a lock and then trade a different item to get them a refresh. Instead, they have a time-based refresh. So they refresh twice a day. That's it. And in most cases, you can trade 4 times before they lock up. So that equals 12 trades a day before you're waiting for the next day. 12 trades every 20 minutes, guys. That's not a lot of trading. So this makes trading extremely slow, and I think they need to rework this and shrink the time. What's gonna happen is, let's say especially farmers, I see people keeping dozens of farmers so they can lock up one, go trade to the other, go trade to the other, go trade to the other to make trading efficient. This doesn't add anything to the game except grind time. I hate when any game developer does this. Most people do. Making you wait for something does not equal depth in gameplay. It just equals wasting the player's time. People hate it. That needs to change. They will respond if it's left the way it is, building massive trading halls that will cause massive performance lag in the game. Why? We're going to go over that, okay? So, like I said, you'll notice here, this guy, no inventory, we can't click. The guy with the profession, inventory. You'll notice we got breeding, but not with doors. So we used to use doors up here. Now it seems that breeding is determined by beds, so doing this old 6-block trick still seems to work with the beds. I still needed to feed them to get them trading. So you would still want some kind of food mechanic, I think. This isn't final yet. We're in a snapshot. Now, assuming we do, this guy isn't harvesting right now. That may be a bug. But assuming we still do and they harvest and you can set up an auto harvester, you would put your compost bin here, bring one villager down here first, he would allocate, then you bring the other ones in. Then all the guys you get will be these unemployed guys, and then you could transfer them and drop them next to the unallocated table to get the exact villager you want. That part's cool, I like. But notice there's a very far distance, okay? To keep these guys from not picking up on those tables, you'd have to have your actual breeder much farther away from your trading hall than you used to. That's going to be a con, but we can deal with it. Now, why is a golem here? Part of this update is the pillagers. There's not really villagers anymore, but in my testing I noticed as soon as I put beds near the villagers, the game kind of looks at that like it's a village, and pillagers can spawn. And they will spawn anywhere, so you'd need a golem with your villagers anywhere there's beds to protect them, because you will get raids. Now, we've basically covered the changes to the breeding halls. Let's talk a little bit about why they're going to be so laggy and why the iron farms, which is my biggest concern here, I feel are going to cause a lot of people to not update or maybe end up eventually getting bored and quitting the game. So under the old mechanics, villages were determined by doors. The number of villagers in a village was determined by doors. The number of iron golems spawning were determined by doors. Doors are now irrelevant, and there is no village based on doors. It's now number of beds, and the golem spawns around the villagers themselves. Now, the golem spawning is done based on input. You can see I've got a list here, and how we get that is, see how I pulled up this data get? So if we, let's say, look at this guy here long enough, he might be the same guy, I don't know. But if we look at that guy and we pull up data get, we might get a second one here. No, we're still getting the same one, so that's the same guy. But you pull up his UID and you type it and you get all this information. Among that is gossip. So also tells you when their trades lock up, but among that is gossip about golems. And that's how they determine golem spawning, by these guys talking to each other. That's the part that causes a lot of performance impact based on the number of villagers you have. So because you do this trading hall, unlike in the old one, every single villager you add to this is constantly talking with each other. They're talking about, we need golems here. They're talking about the last trades they did. They're talking about how players treated them. This caused a lot of CPU usage, and having a lot of them lags out the game quickly, way more than it ever has. So that's going to be a problem over there, but extremely a problem with this. So back to this. Under the old system with the doors, how we could make the iron farms is by manipulating door placement to determine the center of the village. So under this setup, 5 of these doors would count. The iron door would not. Villagers never recognize that. We could still have the center of the village here just by placing and breaking doors in the right order. And that's how people stacked farms to make the big iron farms. A lot of people think like stuff like the Titan is the be-all and end-all and there's nothing to learn. Not true. The Titan barely scrapes the surface of what is possible. The Titan at max, I think, is 124 design, is the biggest Tango ever built it. There's new designs that come out every month. I've seen them as high as 2,000 villages. And it's all done with door manipulation. That is no longer possible with this snapshot. It is gone. The complexity is gone. So that alienates a very large part of the community that this is all they do. This is what they love. They're some of the most technical people we have in the game, and they work in teams. It's a community effort to build farms this large. I don't want to see that part killed off. There's 6-7 years worth of progress here. People that have been doing this for that long, dedicated, and their part of the game is going to be gone. So because this is gone, we can only control golem spawning with villagers. So on to the testing. Let's go over the testing and why it's so late. And you'll notice, guys, I've got 5 golem farms. Not really, one of them's disabled. 4 golem farms and this. And if we look at our tick rate, it's going nuts. I've already corrupted worlds testing farms. So here is basically a modified version of JL2579's original golem farm, the first farm, which was done by placing doors around to get the center of the village right in there, and then putting villager cells. So the first thing I tried was testing to see if these mattered here. They did not. Seeing if the beds matter here. They kind of do for this case, but they do not. Villagers will spawn in here. It's extremely slow. I built all these, reset them, and let them all run so you can see rates. 14. It's not a lot. This world's been testing for hours. So the problem here is I can't use any of this to try and force a center of the village over there. I tried, guys. I tried loading, rebuilding, tried using these. None of them mattered. The golems will spawn on these beds. If I place blocks out here, they will spawn out here. Why are they spawning inside? Well, because the center of their spawn point is these guys. They'll spawn anywhere around them here. Up to 9 blocks around them is what Doc M77 and the Psycraft team, Ilmango, etc. observe. My testing seems like they're pretty consistent in that regard. So the reason this is slow is because half the volume of the attempted spawns is happening out here and failing, right? Because we can't control where the center of a village is anymore to get the golems to spawn in a certain place. So that takes all the finesse, the art out of the building that we once had, that so many people love, and that brought redstone advancements and beautiful works of art in terms of the sheer hundreds of millions of hours of progress in the Iron Farm community. So I tried that, not working. The old farms we always moved by water, so we wanted to see that. So over here we've got a pattern of 5 stacks of 24 guys, and there's vines in there to kind of take some of the strain out of packing them in with each other together. You would think, okay, well, if they spawn around them, we do something like that, it's going to be fast, right? We're up to 43 here, so we're faster than that, but it's still not good, guys, and I'm going to show you why. You can already see up here, we've got golems hanging out. 61. So this is markedly faster, but still slow. You can see how the golems don't all walk off right away like they used to. They kind of stand there. Now, we could speed this up by making the platform larger. Based on Doc and Ilmango and the Psycraft team's testing, they said they only see them 9 blocks away. So if we made this a bigger platform, once they got to the outsides, arguably it would slow down the farm less, but then it's taking longer for them to get off the platform, etc. So still not optimal. So the goal is to have a short distance of travel, right? And all the spawn spaces possible. So you would think something like this would be pretty good, right? We could use these guys to move them pretty quickly off here, and we're good to go. I'm not going to turn this on, and there's no villagers here, because in testing, I was able to corrupt a world with this design, corrupt this world with this design, corrupt this world with nothing but this design in it. As soon as the redstone was running, The second a golem started dying, it took the game down to 0 ticks and it wouldn't recover. I think it's all the calculations the villagers were talking about golem spawning, and the game trying to grab a spawn spot while these were moving around just killed it. Killed it. So, here we are, guys. This is it. This is the fastest iron farm you're going to get in Minecraft. There's no more research to be done with the current mechanics. This is literally it. So all those guys that live to build iron farms, their job is done. There's nothing left to do. You can increase the number of these guys, but in Doc and Ilmango's testing, once they got up to about 300 stacked together in an area, it brought the tick rate to 15, which is basically unplayable for a server. If you have one farm that brings that down on a server, the rest of the server's gonna suck as a result. So you really can't build these farms big anymore. This one, I think, is pumping out a couple of hundred an hour. You can see how it's far faster than the other ones, but 200 an hour is far from, the couple thousand an hour we used to be able to get with farms like the Titan that carried like no performance penalty. This one's already carrying some. Needless to say, guys, that's the best you can do, because if you push it any harder, you can get upwards of about 600 an hour, but it will lag your game when it's loaded. So this is our problem. This is why I'm worried about this. This is what we're stuck with. This is the end of Minecraft for iron farmers. This is very poor performance for large servers. For small servers, you're probably okay. But for large servers or technical iron farm players, this is the end of the game. I know that's not their intention, but this is it. This is as efficient as you can get. There's no tricks. The only thing that's going to make this faster or slower is the number of villagers you have. As long as you have a 2-block hole, the golems will go after these guys in the middle, and they will circle till they fall. So they don't hang around, they move. That's the best design there is. I tested all other possibilities as far as moving the golems out. This is it. Shifting floor, yeah, redstone, can't handle the calculations. Slime sweepers, yeah, redstone, can't handle the calculations. That could change, but in my testing, this is still going to be faster anyways. So if we keep these mechanics, we are officially at the end of an era, guys, where the stacked iron farms, the super quick iron farms, and the pro iron farmers that dedicate themselves to building iron farms. Well, guys, their days are they're done. They're going to have to find something else to do, which is terrible because there's nothing else from a technical standpoint that complicated and that fun in the game, guys. There just isn't. So if you've been doing this 8 years, the old iron farm mechanics was the last real challenge for a lot of people, and that's gone now. I'm sad to say. So I wanted to put this out to let you all know. Don't be shy. If you think this is a bad thing and it needs to change, let Mojang know. They usually listen to our voices. Get at them on Twitter. Go to the Minecraft feedback page on the Minecraft website. Let them know your thoughts. If this really is the end of an era, guys, I'm sorry to see it. I'm concerned it's not going to change. I wanted to let you guys know. So, as always, smash that like if you enjoyed this update. To help others like yourself who might enjoy the content find the channel. And if you're new and you haven't already, hit that sub button for more videos, people. Thanks for watching. Bye.